executive order to cut all project costs, attract investment. Federal government to boost engagement with Nigerians abroad on new non-resident bank verification number NRBVN initiative. CBN reports decline in currency outside banks amid stable interest rates. LCCI applauds Tinubu structural reforms on second anniversary. SEC raises alarm over 300 billion naira loss to Ponzi schemes, urges investor caution. Aviation Minister tackles revenue leakages to boost sector's IGR. Hello, welcome to Business 360. I'm Vivian Akinyosuli. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has signed an executive order aimed at slashing oil and gas project costs, improving government revenue, and as well accelerating investment inflow into Nigeria's energy sector. In a statement issued Thursday by the Office of the Special Advisor to the President on Energy, the federal government said the directive introduces far-reaching fiscal reforms that prioritize cost efficiency, operational accountability, and national value retention. Titled Putting Every Barrel to Work, Nigeria's new presidential directive on cost efficiency targets new investments, improved revenues, and national value. The order sets a bold agenda for reining in production expenses while offering globally competitive terms to serious investors. According to the statement, one of the key provisions of the executive order is a cap on tax credits, limiting them to no more than 20% of a company's annual tax liability. This measure, the government explained, is designed to protect public revenue while still rewarding efficiency and responsible operations in the upstream sector. There's a renewed dip in currency held outside Nigeria's banking system as fresh figures from the Central Bank of Nigeria show it dropped to 4.57 trillion naira in April 2025, down from 4.60 trillion naira in March, while that's still 26.8% higher year-on-year compared to April 2024. The modest 26.4 billion naira month-on-month drop marks the second decline this year, signaling a possible return to earlier trends. The CBN maintained its benchmark interest rate at 27.5% during its May Monetary Policy Committee meeting, a stance that may be influencing this shift alongside growing preference for digital financial platforms. Meanwhile, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry LCCI has congratulated President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, on the second anniversary of his administration, while acknowledging the significant macroeconomic reforms that have defined the past year. In a statement issued by its Director General, Dr. Chinyere Almona, FCA praised the administration's efforts to correct long-standing structural distortions through bold policy actions such as fuel subsidy removal, exchange rate liberalization, and tax reforms. The Securities and Exchange Commission has expressed fresh concerns over Nigerians' appetite for investing in Ponzi schemes despite the availability of safer, regulated investment products. At an enlightenment forum organized by the Securities Exchange Commission, SEC, for members of the Capital Market Correspondents Association of Nigeria at its Lagos head office, Head of Enforcement Department Dr. Sahad Abdulsalam in his presentation disclosed that about 3 million Nigerians lost 18 billion naira when the popular Ponzi scheme Mavrodi Mondial movement, also known as MMM, crashed in 2016. As of 2022, Nigerians had lost over 300 billion naira to Ponzi schemes in 5 years, according to a report generated by the Nuremberg Financial Investments. While speaking on the need for greater public awareness and due diligence in investment decisions, Dr. Abdulsalam noted that most Nigerians continue to fall victim to fraudulent schemes in search of unrealistic returns, despite the numerous legitimate investment vehicles approved and supervised by the Commission.
Most people are looking for a very high returns. That is why I see people patronizing the Ponzi. How many products are they selling? And where are they getting the money that they are giving people certain benefits? There are those that do such market. They say, oh, if you sell this, you have this. That one you are selling something and you're making a commission. But in this instance, I don't think there is anything they are selling. If they are selling product, that is a different issue. But where there is no product to be sold, then issue of Ponzi or pyramid will now come in. Because you, like GNLD, I think they are the ones selling, I can't remember the name of their product, Forever Living, supplements, and so on and so forth. Tianchi, they also have products. But there are those that have no product to sell. They have audio products. Audio.
And away from finance, the federal government is stepping up efforts to engage Nigerians in the diaspora on the newly introduced non-resident bank verification number, NRBVN. Speaking exclusively to AV1 News, the chairperson of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Honorable Abike Dabiri Ebrewa, revealed plans for a series of physical town hall meetings across diaspora communities. These meetings aim to raise awareness, address concerns, and educate Nigerians abroad about the benefits of the NRBVN initiative. She assured that a 24/7 customer support system is in place to assist users facing technical challenges and emphasized the Commission's role as a bridge between diasporans and government services.
For the non-resident BVN, which has been recently introduced by the CBN, is another game changer. Before, you had to maybe travel to Nigeria to have your BVN, which is important to open an account. So with the non-resident BVN, now Nigerians in the diaspora, anywhere in the world, can open their accounts. And we commend the CBN and the NIBSS for this initiative. It's been something that was long overdue. So here are the benefits. There will be easy access to financial services. Know your customer process is streamlined. And I believe that this will lead to increased remittance services to Nigeria. Not just remittance, but also investments. So it's easier now for the diaspora to be able to say, look, this is where I'm investing. I'm transferring this money back home without any hassles. So that is very, very important. And then it's also an avenue for financial inclusion for every Nigerian in the diaspora. And don't forget that we're saying we have about 20 million Nigerians in the diaspora. So this is a very good initiative by the CBN. And another thing is, I know the diaspora have asked us about, is our data protected? Data privacy? That is one thing that the NIBSS, who are the handlers of this, have ensured that is put in place. But Income, as the Agency for Diaspora, has constant engagement with the CBN. We have a partnership with the CBN. We work with the CBN. So what we are going to be doing is helping out with, in terms of having the diaspora know about this process. What are the challenges? What are the questions you need to ask? You can ask us, and we definitely will, get across to you. And one thing I also know, while engaging with the CBN and the NIBSS, is that there's a 24/7 customer service. So if you have a problem, there could be a glitch along the way. You have a problem, there's somebody to talk to. And then we also talk about the benefits of this. Number one, the convenience. Then two, is cost effective. Then three, of course, we've said it will enhance increased investment. So we continue to partner with the CBN, work with them, and educate Nigerians in the diaspora on this, and also bring it to your doorstep so know that this is another innovation of the CBN governor under the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Already Nigerians in the diaspora have keyed into this. In fact, on the day CBN launched it, according to NIBSS, about a few hundreds had already, signified intention to have this done. And we saw one or two banks that said, listen, we've already had this done. So we hope to have more town halls, engagements, where we go physically to meet our diaspora. So yes, it's already working. However, if there are any challenges, let us know. For any new initiative, there may be challenges. Now, India, Bangladesh, I've done all this. So Nigeria doing it will only enhance quite a lot of inclusivity of our diaspora. Everything is on the NIBSS website, and also check the NITCOM website. We'll put all the information there for what is needed, But it's not long. I've seen somebody who registered in real time. It doesn't take a while, but there are questions to be answered because your data needs to be protected. KYC is very important. There's some documents you need to provide. And, it has to be foolproof. Actually, it has to be foolproof. But every information is on the NIBSS portal. And we'll also put it on our data, on our own NITCOM portal too. We have the Diaspora Trust Fund working with the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. Again, we want to dot the T's and the I's before we introduce it to the public. We have the Diaspora Investment Summit, second week of November every year, where the diaspora come together to talk about investment. And we've been having tremendous success. Healthcare, education, ICT, food industry, Nigerian agriculture. Nigerians are investing in their home country, and we're very excited about that. We have the Diaspora Day, which is the day to celebrate all Nigerians abroad. They come home, we gather together, we talk, we have conversations, and then we have the Nigerian Merit Award, where we give awards to Nigerians that have excelled, not just abroad, but have excelled by doing things back home. So we have the data portal mapping, where we're beginning to gather data of our brothers and sisters abroad. And why this is important is it should be easier to know. We have this professional there. We want to get in touch. And then now that there's the Nigeria First policy by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it's important for the diaspora to key into this policy. So why look for somebody else to do the job when you, the diaspora, can do it? So that's what we're saying. Get involved. See what you can do. Seize the opportunity to join hands in building your country, Nigeria.
When we come back, Minister of Aviation calls for urgent need to improve internally generated revenue, IGR, in Nigeria's aviation sector by tackling leakages and inflated figures, depriving the sector of critical income. That's after the break. Join us again. Welcome back. You're watching Business 360, and now to aviation and travel matters. The Minister for Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo Sam, has emphasized the urgent need to improve internally generated revenue, IGR, in Nigeria's aviation industry by tackling revenue leakages, highlighting how unauthorized allocation of complimentary tickets and inflated revenue figures are depriving the sector of critical income. To address these issues, the minister is pushing for greater transparency, accountability, and reforms aimed at ensuring that all revenues due to the sector are properly collected and managed, with the ultimate goal of making Nigeria's aviation industry a stronger and thriving sector.
The launch of the book, 100 Years of Civil Aviation in Nigeria, History, issues and prospects sparked conversations centered around a shared vision amongst guests at the event, a vibrant and thriving Nigerian aviation industry. Speaking at the event, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo San, highlighted sweeping reforms currently underway to transform the sector. Central to these reforms is the Smart Airport Initiative, which aims to integrate advanced technologies to enhance security, improve efficiency, and elevate the overall passenger experience.
You're talking of 100 years of aviation in Nigeria, and you have a committed young man journalist kicking off the process instead of government. Rather than him thanking us for being here, we should thank you. We still have a lot to do in terms of improving our infrastructure and making it world class. We have smart airports all over the world now. And I'm sure this is no longer a secret. Plans are afoot to pull down the old airport in Lagos and build a brand new one. And I told her, when they first brought the first BOQ to me, I said, no, we're not going to build block and cement. Take this BOQ back and make sure, let's do it once and make it a smart airport.
He also unveiled plans to improve the sector's internally generated revenue, pushing for greater transparency, accountability, and reforms.
Our IGR is one of the sectors where we have a lot of high IGR. We generate revenue for government. But then that does not mean we want to impose more taxes. It's just that we have so many leakages within the aviation sector, the aviation ecosystem. So we are not maximizing our capacity to earn revenue. The sources of revenues are there, but we're not maximizing it. And one of them is what I took to the Federal Executive Council. I asked them one day, I said, what is all these tickets you are saying? Why are we not, how much are you making from these gates? All over the world, the airports are told where you park and all that. And they were giving me the figures. I said, no. What is the problem? They said there are so many big men.
The Managing Director, Federal Airports Authority, FAN, Olubumi Kuku, echoed the need for deeper investment in fleet renewal and regional connectivity.
The true narrative lies not in the numbers. Nigeria should take pride in how it asserted control over our airspace and transformed it into one of Africa's most promising aviation markets.
Earlier in the day, Chairman of the event and President Aviation Roundtable, Dr. Gbenga Olowo, stressed the significance of the book, describing it as a record of legacy and a guide for strategic realignment.
ART is proud to be associated with a bundle of history being unveiled today. It's a beautiful precursor to the grand celebration of the centennial celebration being put together by the Aviation Safety Roundtable Initiative. We therefore see today's gathering of eminent personalities and operators in the Nigerian aviation industry as a significant tip of the iceberg. Our poster boy for today is a co-opted member of the Aviation Roundtable's highly celebrated 100 years of aviation in Nigeria Planning Committee.
A lot of people will tell you that the aviation industry has done a lot, has improved. Yes, I agree, it has marginally improved. We are not where we should be. The growth has been very, very slow compared to other countries. Most times you just look at the growth in the aviation industry, maybe less than 1%, and look at countries like Egypt, you look at countries like Kenya, you find out that their growth, year-on-year growth for aviation is between 5 and 10%.
Meanwhile, Professor of Strategy and Development, Professor Anthony Kila, who reviewed the book, commended its author, Wale Shadare, for crafting a volume that blends rigorous documentation with engaging storytelling.
The story of Nigeria is a very Nigerian story. It's a story of high potentials, high promises, poor implementation, haphazardness, improvisation, reckless behavior, illogical processes, and inability to sustain plan.
The day wrapped up with a panel discussion dissecting challenges in the sector, from regulation and infrastructure gaps to the need for data-driven planning and institutional synergy.
Right, for those who say, look, you are going to concession, bunch the airports, take one and add others. The idea is that with this they can bring up the airport. I disagree vehemently. If a woman goes to the market and finds 3 fruits of tomatoes, very excellent healthy tomatoes, surrounded by 6 rotten tomatoes, the woman will not buy it. That is what those who are recommending a viable airport, out of viable airports, no investor will put his money in unviable airport.
So unveil this book, 100 Years of Aviation in Nigeria, by a very, very good writer, Wale Shadari.
With the successful launch of the book, there is a shared sense of optimism and purpose amongst both the guests and speakers at the event. The consensus is clear. This publication is not just a reflection on the current state of the aviation industry, but as well a catalyst for meaningful change.
Ethiopian Airlines will be starting a second flight a day to Lagos from the 1st of July. Ethiopian Airlines, the largest African airline, has announced that from the 1st of July, Nigerian passengers will have increased options out of Lagos with an extra daily flight. According to the management, with these extra flights, there will be instant connection that reduces the total hours of flight time for passengers. Also, there will be 4 evening flights at 10 p.m. and another 3 at 5:40 a.m. In what has been described as a deserving homecoming, the Gambian Tourism Board rolled out a warm welcome for the president and members of the National Association of Nigerian Travel Agencies, NATA, at the official flag-off of a landmark training and tourism market exposure program held in the region. Gambia's Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Honorable Abdullahi Jobe, emphasized the need for destination management to keep pace with fast-changing global tourism trends. The event also highlighted deep-rooted cultural ties between Nigeria and the Gambia. And just before we go, a quick look at trading highlights from the Nigerian stock markets. And that's how far we go on the show today. We'll be back with much more next week.